The resistance revolution is playing out live. Taking down the Ku Klux Klan's invisible empire, run by Nazi and Zionists. The Europeans' coronavirus hoax trade deal to cover up a corporation takeover, wherein China is merely trying to take over the corporation known as the United States of America and or United States. It is all about stealing our land.
But I want to say that I know that this is a challenging time for all Americans. We're enduring a great national trial, and we will prove that we can meet the moment. I want to assure the American people that we're doing everything we can each day to confront and ultimately defeat this horrible, invisible enemy. We're at war. In a true sense, we're at war. And we're fighting an invisible enemy. Think of that. So it cost me billions of dollars to be president, and I am so happy I did it. Because who cares? Who cares? I'm really happy with the job we're doing, and I'm glad that this team and me are here for this horrible thing. I mean, it's a number of people have said it, and I feel it, actually. I'm a wartime president. This is a war. This is a war, different kind of a war than we've ever had. But I'm a little upset with China, I'll be honest with you, because as much as I like President Xi and as much as I respect the country and admire the country, I have great admiration for the country, what they've done in a short period of time. Of course, our previous presidents allowed that to happen. You should say thank you very much to all of them. But they should have told us about this. And I did ask him whether or not we could send some people in. They didn't want that. Out of pride, I think really out of pride. They don't want us sending people into China to help them.
Today, I lost my sister to the coronavirus. But let me tell you how it happened. My sister went to New York Presbyterian Hospital in Manhattan. First, they told her she had bronchitis and not the coronavirus. She went back again. Then they told her she had pneumonia and not the coronavirus. They still didn't test. Then they told her she had the flu and not the coronavirus. It wasn't until she was put on a ventilator and unconscious that they decided to test her, and she died. Why do the rich, the famous, the ball players, the rappers, why do they all have access to the test for the coronavirus? And us people who are working and who aren't rich and who aren't famous, why don't we have access to the test? Call it what it is. We mean nothing. The color of my skin means nothing. The only thing that means something during this pandemic is money. The reason why we're dying in New York is because they are not doing what they're saying on TV. They are lying to everybody. They are lying to this country. They are lying to the world. They are not doing enough for this pandemic. It's like they want it to spread. How the hell? I called New York City Health and Hospitals, and the only response I got from them was, we are not testing for the coronavirus when you have people dying.
You know, guys, here's the thing. Let me try and put things into context for you, okay? I know not everybody's gonna live. I'm not that fucking green or ignorant or, you know, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed to think that, okay? I know we're gonna have a shit ton of people die. But these people aren't dying from COVID. Let me give you several examples here. An anesthesiologist intubated the patient's, like, I think it was right bronchi and of a patient, and they couldn't get the sats up, and for about 5 hours, like, we were waiting on a chest x-ray to confirm that the placement was wrong. And in the meantime, while we're waiting for that, and we've told the anesthesiologist that it was placed wrong, because, like, literally only one side of his fucking chest is, like, inflating, he dies. Okay? A patient had a heart rate of 40, and the resident started doing chest compressions on him, which is not what you do. You just externally pace them, or you give him some atropine. And then, I run in there to stop him from doing chest compressions on somebody with a fucking pulse. And then he decides to push epi. He throws some pads on him to defibrillate the guy in bradycardia. Okay, he has a heart rate of 40 in a stable, bradycardic rhythm. We just need to give him some atropine and pace him. He fucking defibrillates him and kills him. And I was literally ran out of the patient's room to get the director of nursing who was standing out there. And I'm like, can you stop him? He's going to kill that patient. He's going to kill that patient if he defibrillates him with bradycardia and a heart rate of 40. And the director of nursing just shook his head. And I turned around and he killed the dude. Okay? There was a nurse who placed an NG tube into some guy's lungs and filled his lungs with tube feeding. There was a nurse who confused a long-acting insulin with a short-acting insulin and gave 30 units of a fast-acting insulin and killed the guy. What else? Other stuff have I seen? Yeah. It's just here they're just gonna let them rot on the vent. They're medically mismanaging these patients. And I'm not a doctor, guys. I'm not professing to be a doctor by any means. But there's, like I said, basic standards of care that we have to do. When somebody's low on blood, literally on the brink of a critical low blood level, we should replace the blood. But I asked the residents, and they're like, does he have internal bleeding? And I said, no. Then they're like, well, then we're not replacing the blood. Well, here's the thing. In these COVID patients, they all eventually need a blood transfusion. Their blood, if you don't have enough blood to actually oxygenate your body, the vent settings don't fucking matter, okay? They don't matter because you have no oxygen carrying capacity of your blood, okay? I told you about the patient where all that purulent drainage just kept seeping into his lungs because the ET tube cuff was leaking and nobody has a fucking manometer here to check the pressures. And I finally figured that out. And I kept saying, hey, you know what? His white blood cell count is steadily we're having a problem with it. Do you want to start some antibiotics?
USA! USA! Knock the crap out of him, would you? Seriously. In the good old days, this doesn't happen because they used to treat them very, very rough. And when they protested once, they would not do it again so easily. I'd like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you. I love the old days. You know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks. That's true.
Knock the hell out of that big well. The next time we see him, we might have to kill him.
In the good old days, they'd rip him out of that seat so fast.
Shut up! Shut up! No, I would not shut the hell up.
In the good old days, law enforcement acted a lot quicker than this.
a lot quicker. And we're going to enforce the law, and Americans should remember that if we're going to have
I am the law and order candidate.
No, well, does he have a fever? And I said, no, he doesn't have a fever. They didn't want to start antibiotics. Day shift nurse finally got a chest x-ray. He has full-blown pneumonia now. Like, I've been telling them this for a while, but because he didn't have a fever, they didn't want to give him antibiotics. We have a nurse who, like, fell asleep at the fucking nurse's station while we were all in rooms, and her norepinephrine ran out, and the guy had no fucking blood pressure and didn't perfuse his brain, and I'm pretty sure he's brain dead. That same nurse is now running a CRRT machine, a dialysis-like machine, that she has never done before. She said she'll figure it out. Okay? I'm pretty fucking smart, and I figure a lot of shit out, but I would never attempt to try and figure out a CRRT machine on the fly. Like, we are adequately staffed. There's a shit ton of staff in there, like, and we have a nurse who does CRRT in there. She has a different patient load. We told them, like, hey, let's just swap these nurses so the one that knows how to work this machine can work this machine, but they didn't want to do that. So I'm pretty sure that patient will be dead here in a couple hours. And this is why I freaked the fuck out yesterday. Because nobody is listening. They don't care what is happening to these people. They don't. I'm literally coming here every day and watching them kill them. I mean, we're not going to save everybody. That's fine. Like, come on, guys. We're not God. But, like, some of these people, hey, we know that they're not going to live. Let's start a hospice unit or something, you know? Like, they don't need to be in the ICU. Let's change course. Let's do palliative care or something. Like, literally, some of these people are just on sedation to keep them on the vents. Nothing else. I have a lady on a tranq on a vent, and she's not even fucking cognizant. She's not even on sedation. You know what we give her every day? We give her breathing treatments, albuterol, and she gets insulin. And that's it. That's it. We're not treating the COVID, guys. Like, for real, we're not treating the COVID. You know, every day we try and get these guys off the vents, right? Because, you know, there's criteria for weaning. Every day, the day shift nurse will wean them down, like, to, like, minimum sedation. Every night, we come in and we get the same two residents, and they fucking max out all the sedation again and undo all the work from the day shift. Then the day shift attendant will come in and they'll all do rounds, and they'll be like, he wasn't synchronizing with the vent. So we had to turn all the sedation on. And I'm like, he wasn't synchronizing with the vent because it's in the wrong vent mode. So I legit don't even know what to do anymore. Like, I tried calling advocacy groups. I tried talking with management here, like the nursing admin. Like, nothing. Nobody's doing anything.